I'm here in my garage this evening, preparing for Tropical Storm Debbie, which looks like it's going to be a really bad rain situation. And as somebody who teaches preparedness, flooding is very serious. During Floyd, I was out in the front yard of the house that I was renting, and this kid come running up to me and said, Mister, there's this lady in the river back there and she's drowning. It was a canal on Canal Drive, about a block away from where I lived on Keenan Street. I jumped in my Jeep, it was an 84 CJ7, threw a tow strap around the bumper and took off out there. Went down the road where the stop sign was, pulled out into the water. Water was running up about my knee, sitting in my Jeep, and I had 35-inch tires with a 6-inch lift on it. I said, where's she at? Where's she at? And the little kid started laughing. I backed out of the water and I started to turn around, and that boy's father came out and said, what's going on? And I told him what happened. I didn't mean to get the kid in trouble, but he didn't need to do that. And well, he didn't sit down probably for a couple of days. But anyway, America has a clear choice in November. We're either going to go lean toward the side of a little bit of freedom, or we're going to fall off the cliff and go full scale, in my opinion, Soviet style communism. We have an absolute buffoon vice president who doesn't even know what her own race structure is. She has always said she was an Indian, Indian. Now she's African American. She can't even get her story right. She can't make a coherent sentence on anything with foreign policy or economics or anything. And everything seems like a joke to her, because it is a joke to her. It's a joke to the left, because regular hardworking people in this country are getting shafted. The last 3.25 years have not shown you that, and you're either completely on the government system, which so it doesn't matter to you, or you're so wealthy that it doesn't matter to you. But those people in the middle, like me, and maybe like you, we're paying for both of those lifestyles. We've been invaded, the tip of the spear invasion at the southern border for the last 3 years. It's gone on for a long time, but primarily the last 3 years, overwhelming influx of people from all over the world who do not have good intentions. These people are coming from some countries and some lifestyles where life is cheap, especially female life. So, last video I made, I said you should be prepared. Women, don't ever go out by yourself, not even in the daytime, if you can help it, especially at night. Crime is going to ramp up in this country. It has to. You cannot have a toppling of the system without a criminal base being released. And that's what's happened, but it's been released into our country, not necessarily from inside our country. I cannot stress enough, if you have not necessarily family, but friends that think like you do, you need to pull together with those people, and you need to form partnerships. Villages did this from the time of the city-states on up to modern times. We've gone away from that because we have a gas station on every corner and potato chips in the cupboard and electricity everywhere, and which, by the way, the electricity and all that thing, the left is trying to kill that, trying to overload the system, destroy it, so you basically will have to starve or depend completely on them. I teach preparedness to teach people not to be dependent on the government, to not have to stand in line and wait for a handout of bread. I'm not saying you won't have to eventually if things go bad, because you may have to. But if you've got some basic preps, some basic food stuff, some way to process water and clean water, you at least won't be in that situation for the foreseeable future of that event whenever that happens. If you don't know how to shoot accurately, and I'll be honest with you, I bought 2 Glocks the last year, and I can't hit a broadside of barn with either one of them. My Car 40, my 1911s, my 41 Magnums, things like that, not a problem. But I'm having an issue with those Glocks, and I think it's the trigger pull. But whatever, I don't get to practice enough because of my work schedule. But if you don't, find a reputable instructor. Manalone Tactical down in South Carolina. Of course, not this weekend. It's going to be a little wet for them down there right now around the Charleston area. But go look into them. Bill Stoker, Stoker-Matic up in northern Georgia, learn some land nav. Not necessarily to learn land navigation, because you may never have to use that, but to give you some confidence in hard times. You know, the fact that you can do that with a compass and map, or with just a compass without a map, and get to where you need to go. Just the ability to do that will build your confidence. You know, be willing to help your neighbor, no matter who they are and who they vote for. Our country is absolutely divided 50-50. There's no country on this earth that's been in this situation that's come out of this peacefully. And I'm not advocating for any type of conflict. I don't want conflict in this nation. But if you have my background and you learn a lot of things about what we've done in the past, realize we've stuck our nose in places we really shouldn't have been, to affect outcomes that we really shouldn't have been affecting. And all this time is to make certain people filthy, stinking rich. When you realize that, your whole perspective on things will change. You need to really get with some like-minded people and have a weekly meeting or have a monthly meeting with people that think like you do. Not lockstep. I mean, there's always variety in people. Not everybody's going to be exactly 100% the same. That's what you wouldn't want that anyway. That'd be a boring group for one thing. And second thing, you wouldn't really get as many things done because you don't have the vast ability and talents you will have if you have a variety of people. So get together. If you want to know any more about it, you can PM me on Grumpy Buzzard YouTube channel, which I'll post this on YouTube in a little bit. I'm doing this on Facebook tonight. You know, I'm trying to organize my stuff. I've been kind of slack on videos because I have a lot going on. I have a lot that I'm having to do, and I own my own business, I'm self-employed, and I've got irons and fire and a bunch of different things. And I will start making some more videos on a regular basis as soon as I get my stuff in place. And as soon as it starts cooling off a little bit, I'll start doing some cooking over the fire. I can do it now, but when it's 109 degrees outside, I don't really feel like maintaining a fire for 2 or 3 hours, you know. But I will. You know, something I have to, I can, I will. I've done it before. Just telling you that don't take this storm lightly. It's because it's a tropical storm. Rushing water, flash flood can kill you quickly. If you don't have a vehicle equipped to drive in any kind of water, don't try it. Especially if you don't know what's underneath it. You know, it may be a road, but that road may have washed out and you not know it and drive right into it, and nose first into it, and you can't get out of your vehicle and you die. So take it seriously. You know, don't get out in it if you don't have to. Unfortunately, we have to be on it because what I do for a living, things that we haul and transport doesn't stop. Matter of fact, you eat a meal tonight, it's a good possibility if you're in North Carolina that my company has some hand in it getting it to you, and it's being tested so you don't get sick from it. So build your family groups and friendship groups. You know, we don't call them malicious. I mean, that's up to you if you want to do that. In my opinion, it's completely illegal. You know, you have a right to defend your life. You have a right to defend your home. And you have a right to defend your neighborhood, quite honestly. Because unless you can put a police officer in front of every door with a loaded gun, you're pretty much at the mercy of a criminal or criminals, like in England right now. Eventually, that's going to start happening here. But in England, they can't fight back except with sticks and clubs, you know? So it's 20 against 1. There's no way to defend yourself in that unless you're like Bruce Lee, Chuck Norris, Mikey Chanis, which most of you might not even know who that is. He's an old school guy. He's passed away now, but he's a really bad dude. Good guy, but he was a tough hombre, you know. Be aware of your surroundings at all times. Our country is descending into confusion, mass confusion. We don't know who boys or girls are. We confuse gender with this. We're teaching kids this and that, and not basics arithmetic and writing and English and reading. You know, Baltimore school system had zero graduates that could read on a like 8th grade level from high school. Zero, zilch, the entire school system. And they spent like $34 million in that school system. For what? What have the people got out of the Baltimore area received for that money spent? Illiterate graduates. You know, so you're gonna have to take responsibility for teaching your kids, and not just reading and writing, but about our country, about how our country, the truth about how our country is founded. The white founding fathers and the black founding fathers, because there were some of them too. Although you never taught that. If that was taught in school, we'd have a whole different situation in this country, I think. But you got 40% of the population, 30% of the population is completely ignorant to our basic law structure. I'm not saying we've been perfect. We haven't been. We treated the black people in this country in the 60s horrible. I didn't own him alive. The people in front of me did. Well, we learned from, I hope. You know, I watched my granddaddy, sporting goods store for 65 years. And so many little black kids would come into his store, look at the shoes and things, you know. And he'd work with them. You know, he loved helping kids and didn't give a flip what color they were. I saw my granddaddy give a lot of things away to kids who were a little underprivileged, didn't have a lot. You know, he didn't mind it. He kind of enjoyed it. And I hope you take after him in that aspect. But be prepared. Start preparing yourself. If you don't have a group of people that you meet with regularly and discuss wargaming, possible civil situations, possible war situations, we're close to a major, and I know war's rumors of war, but we are right now at a level that we could go to World War III before we wake up in the morning. And you've got a literally incapacitated elderly man who should be enjoying his life at his beach house, quite frankly, and a woman who, let's be honest, got to where she got, but never winning an election. She dropped out of the primaries because she only had 2% of the vote, and everybody said she was horrible. And now all of a sudden, in 2 weeks, she's become the greatest gift since sliced bread. She's not. You're being duped. You're being completely duped. And I hope Americans in this country, no matter what race, no matter what background, can see through that facade and get back to something. I wasn't a Trump guy. Ted Cruz was my guy because he's a constitutionalist. Sorry, getting a message on the piano I'm trying to get rid of. But you see, we had a businessman for 4 years who ran the nation like a business, and he did what he said he was going to do. But if he's elected, the first thing he needs to do day one is walk into the State Department, U.S. Department of State, bring every section head to the lobby and fire them immediately, and tell them your personal stuff on your desk in your office will be delivered to you by our courier. You're fired. Hand your key card, your access card in here, and get the hell out of here. That's the first thing, because the State Department's been anti-American for the last 65 years, and that is a fact. You may not know that if you haven't been in that kind of realm, but I know that for a fact. For a fact. They have been absolutely horrible. Second thing is the snakes that are up there in Congress. Not just the Democrats. All of them are snakes. But there's a good part of the Republican Party that's snakes too. When Trump was elected the first time in 2018, the midterm election, all these Republicans suddenly decided to retire. 58 of them. The most biggest exodus of Republican senators and representatives I've ever seen in my life. Why? Because they knew that for the first time in probably years, they were going to have to do the job for the American people and not their own interest. And they didn't want to do it. So they left. So, educate yourself. Get with like-minded people. And I say like-minded people, I don't mean white or black or whatever. People who think like you do, who want to be better, who want to better themselves, who want to learn and be educated and learn how to take care of each other. Because I'm telling you something, the government ain't going to do it. If they can give you everything, they can sure enough take it all away from you. So, anyway, get ready for a tropical storm deluge is coming. Working in my garage, and I hope you get a little something out of this. Grumpy Buzzard, out.